I mean, I think you point to the fact that ordinary people are for the most part not approaching these topics, even if they come from a conservative background, they're not approaching LGBTQ issues like with animosity. And I think they're really trying to figure this out. It reminds me of an ongoing project I'm working on. I've been interviewing Christians who support anti-transgender laws that have been proposed and passed in many states in this past year. I interviewed one woman who was a grandma, and her grandchild had recently come out as transgender, and they were no longer speaking to one another. And she told me this with just so much emotion that it really broke her heart, that she continued to send cards and to make phone calls, but none of these were returned. And she said, and I asked, like, well, why do you think your grandchild was refusing to be in contact, that they used to be quite close? And she said, oh, I know the reason. It's that I won't use and then she used air quotes, the right pronouns and name. And so I gently tried to push her, like, basically, why not? Like, why do these words matter so much to you, when this relationship seems to be so important? And she said that she went to a training with a conservative evangelical political organization that gave participants a handout with a list of words that they were never supposed to use when it comes to the quote unquote transgender issue. And on that list was to use a person's name or pronouns if different from the sex that they were assigned at birth. Also, that's a phrase, by the way, that they say people should avoid. But and they say that this, ultimately harms people more than it helps them, to reinforce what they consider to be, what they call a quote unquote delusion. But that story comes up for me, I think, because doing that interview really humanized for me conservative Christians beyond the politicians or the leaders who are making so much noise in public discourse, but who are listening to that discourse and trying to then navigate their relationships in real lives. And, for me, I think this is maybe more a personal than a professional answer, but that the task is to not perceive inclusivity and understanding as a threat to a devout Christian faith. That so much of the public discourse really does see this as like, these things are like oil and water. They don't go together. But like, what if that weren't true? What if that weren't the case?